This is the Sunday Motivational Video. Every Sunday, we bring you a different type of video, which should improve your life. Today, we're looking at 15 Rules for Being a Gentleman. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. There's a lot of talk about what being a true gentleman is, and although times have changed, the concept of respectable men has evolved along the way. For some reason, fewer men choose to behave accordingly to a higher regarded skill of ethics that surrounded the idea of gentlemen of the past. Just because technology is getting better, it doesn't mean we have to forego everything the past has struggled to teach us. Gentlemen are superior individuals in a society which, through their etiquette, the way they act, the way they talk, and by their presence, are in the grace of others and are seen as models for others. Which is why in this Sunday motivational video, we're taking a look at the 15 rules for being a modern gentleman. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. Let's get to it. Number 1. Have your life figured out, or at least the core of it. A gentleman is not someone who controls every aspect of his life, but who understands the rules of the game and is aware of the direction he's headed in. Understanding what your values are and what you stand for is the basis for daily decisions one has to make. You'll notice that the people who do not have clear goals for themselves, an established destination, are often chaotic in choices and behaviors. This is because unless you know where you're going, any road is a viable option. Gentlemen do not live in this state of the unknown. They have surpassed it and are now making progress towards attaining the life they want. This simple difference immediately separates them from the wannabes and is one of the most respectable characteristics a man can possess. Number 2. Be well-read, educated, and informed. Or, simply put, know what you're talking about. A gentleman doesn't voice an uneducated opinion. He will listen to a conversation with the purpose of learning from the person he's speaking to, and only join in when he's confident on the knowledge of the topic discussed. While most men have only a superficial understanding of the world, and usually their conversations revolve around the mundane, a gentleman's ideas and opinions are rooted in a variety of sources and schools of thought. He's aware of what's happening in the world, but doesn't waste time with the trivialities of celebrity life. Most of who we are as people is a combination of everything we've learned and encountered in life. The more you read, learn, and educate yourself, the greater the complexity of the ideas and beliefs you can master. This leads to a massive shift in behavior. You have more empathy towards others and rise above the noise brought on by ignorance. Number 3. Master the art of presentation, because people will always judge a book by its cover. A gentleman knows there's more to life than jeans and t-shirts. There are different seasons and different occasions where your presence will be required, and a gentleman has the knowledge to dress appropriately under these circumstances. Tom Ford said it best: "Dressing well is a form of good manners, and you need to be polite." It's such a shame how men are intimidated by clothes and never bother to understand the basics and end up making fools of themselves. Instead of going through 10 similar items, invest in quality pieces and take care of them. The long-term value will become evident once you start experimenting with premium items. One Rolex watch will always say more than 100 Casio watches. A gentleman should possess appropriate footwear for each occasion, from Oxfords to sneakers to summer footwear. Moving on up, you'll be amazed by the existence of fabrics other than denim, and especially in the days of summer, you'll find more comfortable and stylish alternatives once you start learning about these things. The way people perceive you can radically change for the better when you upgrade from a t-shirt to a tailored shirt with your sleeves rolled up. And then there is an entire array of accessories for every occasion, which will set you light years ahead of the mediocre man. And this is just in terms of fashion. The way you walk, the way you sit, the way you groom, your mannerisms, your gestures, what you do with your hands. These are all elements that can be improved and mastered to your advantage. Number 4. Let your actions speak for you. A gentleman doesn't put emphasis on his plans and instead allows for his results to showcase his position. Everyone thinks they're special and destined for greatness until you draw the line and peek behind the curtain. Unfortunately for many men, there's nothing there. It takes a lot of effort to be a poser, to pretend you're successful or virtuous. The irony is that if you would take the time and put in the same amount of effort, you could make progress towards genuine success. Some people mistake confidence for arrogance. A gentleman is confident in his ability, but never arrogant about it. Number 5. Understand that life is about serving others, not serving yourself. Ooh, this is a big one that just very few people get right. This happens because it's a more advanced way of thinking about life, which requires you to have already overcome the fundamental hurdles of existence. To summarize the fundamentals, you should be first able to take care of yourself and then take care of others. You should first criticize yourself and then criticize the world. Before you can change the world, you have to change yourself. Only after an individual has managed to move beyond the basics can he live this life of true fulfillment. These individuals are usually change agents who, by sheer dedication to their work, manage to change the world for the better. And you see these people being heavily rewarded by the world for their service and contribution. Life is not about serving yourself, it's about serving others. The more people you serve, the higher the value you put into the world. Some of that value will inevitably be reflected back onto you, but that's not the driving factor once you hit that stage. Elon Musk is a great example of this. His so-called fame, popularity, and wealth comes as a result of pursuing an ideal beyond himself. The desire to transform life as we know it, from energy to transport to becoming a multi-planetary species. This man wants to facilitate the move of over 1 million people to Mars in his lifetime. Sure, he's making billions of dollars in the process, but if he wanted to be rich, there would have been way easier routes to take than building a rocket company or even a car company for that matter. Their pursuit and dedication for the betterment of others is what led them to being regarded as successful and put up on a pedestal. If you look at all really successful people in history, they all followed this exact model. And Aluxers, if you're interested in learning some more about Elon and how he went from a shy kid in South Africa to becoming this industry tycoon, we highly recommend picking up his biography by Ashley Vance. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future. We know this book is fairly expensive, and because we find its story so interesting, if you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get the audiobook version for free, thanks to our friends at Audible. You're welcome, Aluxers. Number 6. Be punctual. There's one resource we all have in a limited capacity, and that is time. A gentleman always will value his and other people's time. You should never cost others extra time you could have optimized for. Being punctual says so much about who you are as a person that you can build an entire profile on someone based on this simple act. People who are always late are lazy and poor managers of their own lives. Not arriving on time not only says you don't value the time of others, but it shows you don't have your life together. You're simply unable to plan for things accordingly. You're not really that bright and get easily distracted. You don't take relationships seriously and actively disrespect others by not behaving in the manner you have agreed to beforehand. Simply put, your word doesn't mean anything because you don't live by it. You want to turn your life around? Start by doing what you say you'll do, and the perfect place to begin with is by showing up on time when you say you will. Number 7. Master the art of conversation. Stop being a weirdo and talk to people. It's shocking the number of men unable to have a decent conversation with other people. They lack basic communication skills and choose to close themselves in instead of learning how to overcome this disability, which many people call being an introvert. Nobody is born with pre-installed walking skills. You get good at it by practicing. You fail, you get up, and you try again. The same thing happens with your ability to speak in public and talk to people of the, trigger warning, opposite gender. What you call introversion is just a software you have yet to uninstall on your drive. Once that's done, you can begin the mastery of the art of conversation. A gentleman should be able to entertain discussions with any type of person and have it be a pleasant conversation for both themselves and their companion. Get to a level where you can talk to anyone about anything, with both parties enjoying it, and then you're on your way. Number 8. Never get drunk or wasted when you go out. Losing control over your actions is just a reflection of who you really are, a loser. A gentleman can have fun without making a fool of himself. This feeds into everything we've mentioned earlier about being a respectable individual and living according to a set of principles that will make you come out ahead than you would have ended up otherwise. Consume it, experience it, enjoy it, but never in excess. There's more to drinking than just downing beer and occasionally wine. There's an entire universe of fine drinks with subtle differences and nuances that are indistinguishable for the everyday man. You can explore this without the need to embarrass yourself and those around you because of your lack of judgment and control. This type of mindset applies to everything you put into your body. Getting wasted is a typical beta male behavior. And Aluxers, if you're curious to know what the signs are of a true beta male, click in the top right corner to watch our take on the issue. It's filled with some harsh truths you might not want to hear about yourself, but at least you know where to start. Number 9. You do not embarrass your partner by behaving in a manner that would put them in a bad light. Building on that previous point, a gentleman prioritizes his relationship, his family over the trivialities of life. If you're serious about the relationships you're in, you make them a priority. This is the person you'll spend the rest of your life with, preferably. You build each other up. You raise her, she raises you, and that's how you both end up higher. You have each other's backs no matter what. A gentleman is able to engage sincerely in difficult conversations and be open about the struggles a relationship goes through, with the goal of overcoming them and coming out a stronger couple at the end. Do not embarrass your partner by seeking alternatives behind their backs, by flirting with others, and looking to get some side action without them knowing. These are never isolated incidents, and once you put the tiniest of cracks in what was once a perfect relationship, it's just a matter of time until the entire thing crumbles. Number 10. Go after what you want without sacrificing your morality. A gentleman lives an extraordinary life, but it's extraordinary because he's pursuing his dreams, while everyone else is compromising them or abandoning their dreams altogether. As a culture, we have a fascination for people who never quit, who go after what they want, and who beat the game by still following the rules. The world sees them as special people. Poor countries are envious and hateful of rich and successful ones. This hate comes from an inability to understand that success can be achieved by following the rules if you work hard enough. This thought process is cemented by obvious cases of corruption and people outmaneuvering the law and coming into easy money. Put these two together and everybody ends up thinking that successful immediately implies a crooked behavior. While this may be true for some developing nations, as time moves forward, we come to realize that these cases are slowly fading away and are being replaced by people who, through hard work, incredible intellect, and dedication, have achieved success beyond imagination. Just look at the 5 richest people in the world right now: Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Bernard Arnault, and Mark Zuckerberg. They all built massive fortunes from a combination of traits mentioned earlier. The richest people with a criminal background no longer come close to those who play the game by the book and win. If you're looking for the rules to win the game of money and life, our best recommendation would be to pick up a book called Principles by Ray Dalio. For those of you unfamiliar with who Ray Dalio is, he's got over $125 billion of assets under management from the richest people in the world through his hedge fund, Bridgewater Associates. The book underlines a clear set of behaviors needed to successfully alter the things you want in life. If you go to Alux.com/freebook and sign up, you can get the audio version of Principles by Ray Dalio for free. Number 11. Compliment your date. What might seem obvious for some of us is usually something most people ignore. A modern gentleman will always compliment a date when they start going out. It's a simple thing to do that holds a lot more value than people think. The first thing it does is acknowledge the interest you have in the other person through that compliment. The second thing is reinforce the idea that you pay attention to your date. Almost everyone will put in some extra effort before going on a date. It's likely that she spent some time getting the hair right, picking an outfit, at least 30 minutes of makeup, with the hopes that she'll spark your interest. So a simple, "I love the way you did your hair, you look amazing tonight," will go a really long way. The third thing it does is it sets the tone for the night. The compliment clears some of the unknowns. It defines your interest and helps her relax and enjoy herself. Throughout the evening, let her know the things you find interesting about her life and the way she thinks, if that's the case. The world needs more good, and the perfect way to do that is to verbalize it. Number 12. Be in good health and clean. A gentleman knows that his life depends on the experiences he's able to enjoy. The healthier you are, the more you can experience. It's as simple as that. It all starts with better personal hygiene. Then you move into what you consume. Then you start training your body. It's shocking to us how many people know that they should be clean, eat healthy, and exercise, but never do. For the rest of the world, this is a sign of who you are as a person, that you don't value your health, and you could care less if you smell bad. The direct effect is that valuable people will not want to waste their time with you. Thus, you end up surrounded by people with similar mindsets and habits. Number 13. Speak well of others and avoid gossip. We always appreciate people saying nice things about us to other people. That's just how we're all wired. We avoid people who can't hold secrets, who gossip, who would switch sides in an instant. This is because these individuals can no longer be trusted. Their word doesn't mean much, so why bother investing time into that relationship? A gentleman is the exact opposite of this person. He looks for the good in people and chooses to reward positive behaviors of his colleagues and friends. Everybody wants to be around someone who's rooting for them and who's willing to hold them accountable. So, be that person. Number 14. Do not offer unsolicited advice. A gentleman should be willing to help those who are open to receiving advice and act upon it, but there's a subtle difference there that's incredibly important. Everyone loves to give advice. Nobody wants to follow advice. So what's the point in wasting time on someone who's not going to follow through? Even if you have the best intentions, after being proven wrong once or twice, you have to let them go. They all want to give their opinion on what they would do if they were in your shoes, but they are not. They do not have the same values and mindset that you do. The reversal is also accurate. You can't give extraordinary advice to people with a mediocre mindset. Number 15. It's the little things. And by that, we're thinking of small actions that reflect on what kind of person you are, how attentive you are to your partner and those around you. It's not old-fashioned to offer her your jacket if she gets chilly in the evening. It's not old-fashioned to switch sides with her, so you're the one who walks closer to the road. It's not old-fashioned to hold the door open for anyone. You can tell someone's a gentleman from the way they behave, the way they shake your hand, the way they talk to the waiter, and their willingness to help in a case of need. Speak your language currently. Speak more languages if you can. There's no need to use slur words in casual conversations. The things that we used to regard as being a decent human being are now seen as chivalrous and outdated. So, here's one question for you Aluxers. Why do you think the culture has changed? Is it the media? The music? Is it the internet? Why did people lose their etiquette? We would love to hear your take on this. And as always, as a reward for watching this video all the way to the end, you get a piece of bonus advice. Admit when you're wrong. This is probably one of the most valuable traits in the arsenal of a true gentleman, and really anyone. Their ability to correct their path and choose to be better. It's not as easy as you think, and don't brush this point by lightly, because your future depends on it. Do not let pride stop you from growing. Taking in new information and implementing it into your own life is a form of respect for who you are as a person and who you wish to be. Respect yourself enough to not allow personal pride to halt you from making the right choices. Everyone will appreciate someone who can learn from their mistakes and overcome them. We've made this long list for you, Aluxers, for those of you who are willing to better yourselves. If you will implement at least some of these ideas into your life from today forward, please write respect in the comments section as a sign you will respect yourself and those around you. Hold yourself to a higher standard than mediocrity. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.